Welcome back to another Roblox video tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be creating a trap with a cage. So when the player gets onto a pad, the cage will activate. So for this will be quite simple. You're only going to create two parts, the pad, which will activate it, and the cage itself. So what I'm going to do is you can create your pad real quick. This will be the part that will activate it. So for now, I'm not going to make mine too detailed. You can customize yours however you want. So I think this is pretty good for now. So you can anchor it, go to properties or go to explore, and then you can rename the part to pad, PAD, or you can rename it to whatever you want as long as you update it into the script. Now for the trap or the cage, I'm not going to make mine too detailed. I'm just going to make it a wall for now, just as an example. Or actually, I'm going to create it two parts just in case. If you want to make your cages more than one part. So let's say you have two parts like this. What you're going to want to do is you're going to lock the pad. You're going to highlight both of these or the cage that you've created. As long as there's no mesh, this should work. So just go to model, then click union, and then this will become one part. Now go back to Explorer and rename the union to cage or trap. I'm going to rename it to trap. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that trap is anchored. Then go to view. We're going to go to properties and we're going to set transparency to 1. We're going to set transparency to 1 and we're going to set can collide to true. So it's make sure that it's unchecked. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to slightly lift this away from the pad because the pad will have a function where if anything touches it, the cage will activate. So make sure that it's anchored and it's lifted. Make sure the pad is also lifted away from the base plate because the base plate is also considered as something that could touch it. So here's the thing with the base plate and stuff like that. What we're going to be doing with this is that it's going to be slightly lifted away from the ground. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to take this pad and I will move it up. So it should look something like this. Make sure everything is away from the ground. So this looks pretty good. So now inside of pad, we can go into script, and then we're going to create a couple of variables. So we're going to say local trap equal game dot and make sure everything's spelled correctly. So game with a lowercase g dot workspace dot trap. Now, if your trap is, let's say, inside of a folder because you want to like organize or something, then just put the exact path. So I'm going to say, let's say I put it in a folder. I'd say game workspace dot whatever your folder name is. Let's just say for now I have a folder dot folder, and let's say the name of the folder is just folder dot pad. So if it's inside of them. Anyway, so let's continue. So workspace dot trap. So what we're doing here is we're just going to create a local variable. It's called the trap. So here we're creating the name, and what trap is equal to is the game dot workspace dot trap, which is right over here, dot workspace dot trap. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create another variable for pad. We're going to say local pad equals script dot parent. And then we're going to have this. We can continue with a function. So for this, we can say pad dot touched. So that pad dot touched, we're gonna do connect function, and what we're gonna do inside of here, create another one. And we're gonna create the name of our function. So let's name this function on touch, or at least touched. So we're gonna say pad dot touched, and we're gonna say so what we're going to do here, and before we continue, is you can create a function like this, and there's actually two ways to create the function that we're doing. This will be a if name dot touch. This is more complex. So if the player's name, or if something that touches it is the player, in fact, then this will activate. But for now, I think I'll go with the simpler version of this function. So we're just going to go with local function, which is spelled correctly. So local function, and you can rename your function. This is way easier. I recommend this for like a beginner. So I'm going to say local function touched, and then you're going to close parentheses, and new end should appear, and you're going to say pad, not pad, trap dot transparency equals 0, and then when you say trap dot can collide equal true. Next, we're going to do, so this could be a time trap. So let's say if you want your trap to be timed, so after 25 seconds it's gone, we can do this. So we're going to say wait, and then in here, in parentheses, you can make it how long you want. This will be measured in seconds. So let's say you want it 25 seconds. Let's go with that. So it should look like this. Next, we're going to make an if statement. So we're going to say if trap dot transparency equal 0, then trap dot transparency equals 1, trap dot can collide equals false. So now what we're doing here is we created our variables right over here. Over here we created our function and we named it touch. Over here we created it so that trap dot transparency is equal to 0, and trap dot can collide equal true. Over here we did a wait function, so wait 25. We're going to say if trap dot transparency equal 0, then trap dot transparency equal 1, trap dot can collide equal false. So this will make it so that it is gone. Now all we have to do is just connect the function. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the touched function. So this is pad. So we're going to say pad dot touched connect, and the name for your function. So the name for my function is touched. Now we can go ahead and play the game to test it out. Make sure that everything is working. So now I'm just going to play the game real quick, test this out. So if I get on, as you can see, the trap is right here. We can wait 25 seconds. And before we continue, let's just check the output. So no errors. So let's just wait 25 seconds. So eventually this should turn off. And I'm actually just going to get out just in case. So let's wait a little bit. And the trap is gone. And you can actually repeat this. So let's say I get on the trap again. It's back on. So you can do this. I recommend this for doing like a advanced obby game or something like that. Maybe if you want to do a horror game. But yeah, that's the end of this tutorial. So I'll see you all next time.